Welcome to the podcast, Wait, What Do You Do Again? Where we talk to everyday people doing amazing things. I'm your host, Megan DeFord. Let's go. Today's guest is Amanda Foster, CEO and founder of Foster Decor Consulting. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can actually watch our interview on YouTube. Enjoy. Amanda, thank you so much for being here today. I am with Amanda Foster from Foster Decor Consulting, and this is a first for Wait, What Do You Do Again, where we are not only in audio, but also video. So thank you. That's really exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. It's been really fun, even just getting to know you before our podcast. I feel like we already know each other, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, yay, I get to talk to you again. So can you talk a little bit about what is eDesign and what does Foster Decor Consulting actually do and mean?
Well, if I rewind a little bit, I am an interior designer. I do have my degree in interior architecture. It's accredited, and I went to Sacramento State University, and it was intense. I mean, there's only 30 slots for the program, and 250 people applied. So it's intense. So I know my stuff. I just like putting it out there. I also have a degree in graphic design and a minor in marketing. And so I'm a little bit of everything when it comes to my consulting business now. So my consulting business is I work with my interior design peers who are also interested in eDesign, and I help them through coaching, mentoring. I have courses just to get people who are interested in eDesign, which is online virtual design. So this was started back in the early 2010, 2011 time when I actually was graduating and starting my career, but I was in the architecture field. So I didn't know about eDesign until a few years later because I was hating my job.
What were you doing in the job that you hated?
I mean, it was just the 9 to 5, the cubicle life. I was voted, like gonna go places, most likely to go. Actually, it's called Gensler, which is like the amazing,
like, yeah, I know Gensler. Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm just like, oh, cool. I'm going places. I had the best internships. I partnered with Blackford and Dreyfus, and just, everything just seemed like, oh, this is going to be great, great, great. And then you get to that job and it's like, oh, I'm working on a toilet elevation plan today.
Yeah.
For a government, building and the custodial area. Like, oh my God, like this is all that hard work. It's led to, like, no, we just slowly work on everything. And you're one of 20 people working on this project. And, I didn't get to really use my creativity. So I just felt it was just a soulless job to me, I guess, for how much, creativity that I have inside me. So I was just kind of waiting it out, I guess. I was just waiting for a sign because I'm just like, okay, I have a very blessed life in, I graduated, I have a job, I have security, I have a 401k, which I was like, what the heck is that, and these benefits and like, I'm not happy. I think it's a very Americanized, problem of ours, right? It's just the pursuit of happiness. And so I was waiting for a sign, and my fiance was like, hey, I just got offered a job. Like, that's great. Like, where? Like, all over. Like, what? Like, I'm gonna be a video game commentator, and I have to travel. They said Brazil for a few weeks, and then Mexico, and then Canada, and then over like a European tour, and then Tokyo later in the year. And what do I say? I don't want to leave. Like, will you come with me? But I don't want to ask you to go with me. I don't want you to quit your job. It was like, and I'm like, I'm gonna quit my job. This is the sign. Give me a reason to quit my job.
Yeah.
Please. So we had 2 weeks to pack up our whole life, really, into storage. get passports, like just, get all of our ducks in a row, what someone would probably take a few months to do.
Yeah.
We crammed it into, actually it was 10 days. So it was less than 2 weeks. It was 10-day like
Gosh.
marathon. And as I'm waiting in the airport in one of our layovers, I already do freelance as a graphic designer. I've done that since high school. And I'm looking for like freelance work, which this was now 2014. So 10 years ago, freelance and remote work isn't what it is now, just FYI. I think after COVID, everyone's like, yeah, I work from home and, it's the norm now or it's fine. But back then it was very like, what? What do you do? Like, you work from home? Like, yeah, I also, have a graphic design, freelance business too. And I was curious, like, maybe there's remote work for interior design. Like, why not look? I was on LinkedIn, typed in remote, interior designer, and eDesign came up. I'm like, what is that? What is eDesign? That, it says interior design, wanted for eDesign position. So I look into it and they say eDesign is online virtual design. So you can be anywhere, literally, as long as you're English speaking, English speaking, American, even if you are in the UK or in, Canada. And I'm like, I'm going to all those places soon. Like, so I could literally work anywhere with homeowners still. So how eDesign works for this company that I partnered with for 5 years is called Havenly. And Havenly is still the biggest eDesign company out there. You take a quiz and it's very simple. Just kind of, what's your style? Do you like more of this? Do you like more of that? It's a fun quiz. And they then kind of partner you with a designer who fits, like, let's say you're traditional. Well, we have all these traditional designers. Oh, I'm more modern. Oh, well, then you'll be paired with Amanda and Ashley or Brittany. You get like three to choose from. And then we all just communicate online. And it's 2 week process, 2 to 3 week turnaround. And we submit, kind of digital mood boards and renders and designs and have chat communication. So I was like loving this. Like, here's all my graphic design, you know, presentation skills and creativity now infused into still working with homeowners, still utilizing my industry, knowledge, not heavy architectural, toilet elevation plans. Like, yes, that's a win.
Glamorous. Yeah.
But zooming with clients and talking with them, it was so great to have that connection because as we're traveling, it's a little lonely. It's exciting,
Yeah.
all these new places. Wow, like this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. But when we're staying there for a few weeks, it's like, okay, human connection. I don't speak the language here.
Right.
So it was a blessing in both ways, but that was really my calling. It was a huge pay cut, tremendous pay cut. I don't even want to remember that pay cut, but it was, the pursuit of happiness for Americans. That is just more important at the end of the day. Like, I'm glad that I quit and I got into eDesign and almost 300 projects
Wow.
later. Yeah, with partnered with Havenly and Decorous is another eDesign company. And so when we got back, 2019, I was running the showroom. They had a physical location in, I think, five major cities: San Francisco, Chicago, Miami. I think there's one in Texas, but yeah, five in the US that they're trialing. Like, okay, we're all online and virtual, but what if we had a little pop-ups in a showroom,
Right.
and try to cater to that San Francisco, people. We have a lot of people in San Francisco that we get. So let's do a little pop-up in the design district. And I'm one of their best. So they're like, we need you, you're our point guard. Like, we need you
Yeah.
up there. And it's just like another dream come true. Like, okay, yeah, I'll be in an Airbnb for, from Wednesday to Sunday. They put me up in the Airbnb design district, ran the showroom. It was a hybrid. So
Yeah.
this was my experience being a hybrid designer. meeting in person, all the cool San Francisco hip, couples are coming there that just had like endless money.
Yeah.
Um, that was really fun. And quick consultation, and then, okay, out you go. We'll just continue all this online and set them up with other designers. And it was so fun. And
That's very cool.
it's supposed to be 2 weeks. And it was so popular, we pushed it to a month and then pushed it to another month. And so I think it was almost 4 months.
Wow.
We had to take a break the night before Halloween. And they said, okay, we'll be back spring of 2020.
What happened?
And then the world shut down. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, in February, we were emailing, we're so excited, we're going to have another round. And then, the dreaded, oh, everything is shut down. The world is stopped. So that was my opportunity to get involved with the community online because we all were kind of needing something. And so I started talking more and networking more with e-designers. And then I was getting the attention of my peers. They're like, wow, your website's really cool. Or well, how'd you do that on Instagram? Like, how do I make over my account like you did? Or tell me how to do this or that. And so organically, as everyone's trying to put their energy into learning, it's a good time. We had downtime. We couldn't leave. I just started sharing my learning. Yeah. And then people were like, oh my gosh, could we like Zoom? Could you like, Zoom with me and kind of walk me through? So after a couple of those, sessions, everyone wanted to Venmo me. They're just like, let me Venmo you for my time. And
that's
like,
awesome.
Okay, like cool. And so then I was like, you know what? There is something here. Maybe I can teach. Maybe I can mentor. Maybe, after I think it was the fifth kind of Zoom I had that was very casual. And they were like, you know what? I've learned so much more from this hour talking with you than, 5 of the paid courses that I bought that are sitting in my inbox collecting dust. So everyone was then pushing me to do a course. And that's how I came up with the boot camp, the eDesign boot camp. And I was targeting e-designers, but I have a lot of full service interior designers coming to me, and they have more experience than I do. They've been in the industry 20, 30 years. And so these are like the veteran girls, and they're just like, I want to learn.
That's
Help
awesome.
Me. Like, yeah. What? Okay. So it's been really exciting helping, niching down to helping my peers and now helping them with branding, with their websites, with social media. I'm like a one-stop shop for these girls. And I love it. And it's so fulfilling that I'm like, I'm just so relieved I left, that cubicle that is a few streets away, but nope.
It got you your start, but on to other things. So during your travels, did that impact your style and, evolve you as a designer?
Yes, definitely. I mean, ever since I was little, my mom, would have us go in the summers to Mexico City to visit my other relatives. And the colors were just so like every house was like lime green, like all of it, not just like the door here. Like, I think for Americans, it's like we will do a crazy door color and that's it, Right. But they're the opposite. They have like these big iron gates that are black, and then everything else is lime or chartreuse or pink. And so when we were traveling around, I, noticed so much beautiful architecture. And I took pictures like crazy. My albums are just overflowing. And it was really something else. So I'm going to say that. But I think I mostly gravitate to my Mexican roots when it comes to the style, because even some of the colors that are in my own home or that I choose for client projects are very bold, colorful, and just a little like, whoa. So I'm not for everybody. If you're more on the beige and grayish, I mean, you have a bright pink wall behind you. You have a
Yes.
beautiful coral wall. So that's what I'm talking about. That is awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I think that grayish and beige and all the really like super neutral colors are in right now. Um, and I don't know why, like,
Mhm.
can you talk a little bit about like how can people find their style? Like if you don't have that background,
Mhm.
like my house is very loud, but it's been an evolution. And I actually
Mhm.
really love like mid-century modern design, which often does not coincide with bright colors, right? So like how have you in the past worked with individuals to kind of find their style instead of just like looking through a magazine or something like that?
So what we use is a platform called Design Files. That's
Hmm.
like our hub. So that's just a program that we use that we can create a design questionnaire. We can
Hmm.
customize it. So that really walks the client through like, okay, what are your design like preferences and your struggles and what are your goals? And so we really can like walk them through all of those questions that we would be doing in person, but they can take their time with it online. And then we
Hmm.
also have visual questions too. So if they can't articulate mid-century modern, chair or Hollywood glam,
Hmm.
satay or something like that, then the pictures really help. Like it'll be a picture of something mid-century, like all mid-century this or all more glam that. And so it's
Right.
like choose which is your preference. So that's where we can start seeing their through their answers and visuals like, oh, okay, they're obviously more modern, more glam, and this other client is more mid-century and maybe coastal. So it's all guiding them and asking the right questions. And then Pinterest is huge. That's always
Yeah.
the easiest homework to give them because they already have albums of stuff that they like.
Right.
So being able to see visually and read their questionnaire, it's pretty much the best way to get into someone's head
Hmm.
because a lot of times the clients just don't know how to share it or express it, just like I like pink. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, they could like a very mellow, blush. And
Right.
I'm thinking vibrant neon. So it's
Right.
like we really have to uh look at the answers and the visuals
Yeah.
together to see what kind of pink or what kind of style.
Yeah. What kind of trends are you seeing right now in the industry?
I'm seeing a lot of color. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that beige and grayish is popular. It's
Hmm.
always going to be popular, but since COVID, I think everyone being at home and being like, you know what, I can't have people over. Like, I can just design for myself. I
Hmm.
think people were a bit more expressive and a little bit, and not as much holding back as they and I am guilty of. So
Yeah.
pre-COVID, my design style was more for people. More thinking of like the guests that are coming over and, the family that'll be here in Christmas time or,
Right.
it's which sucks. I don't want my home to be a reflection of the guests that will come once or twice a year, right?
Right. Right.
So with COVID, I actually have a blog about this that I think people were everyone was dealing with something during COVID,
Yeah.
whether it was depression or just like, lack of seeing the sun because we're all cooped up inside and, everyone is just dealing with something. And so I believe nostalgia was a huge theme in COVID.
Hmm.
Nostalgic of, oh my gosh, remember when we could go outside to, oh my gosh, remember when we could get Blockbuster to, oh my gosh, remember these movies or remember this part of culture. And so that actually was becoming more reflected in interiors and design. People were going on Etsy and buying things, from their childhood or buying more things that they wanted to collect. And the stimulus checks also helped people to infuse more into like, oh, decor and fun stuff and self-care. And so now people are a little bit more, I think, adventurous with color and showcasing their personalities in their home.
Yeah.
Whether people come over and see it or not, which is very exciting.
Yeah. And are there any like pieces that you would say, like, definitely invest in X?
Okay.
Like in
So
terms of like quality,
yeah,
I don't know. Is there anything that you're like, you know what, you really should go, not necessarily high end, but like you should really make sure that you're thinking about, longevity for these types of items?
definitely the sofa. A lot of people want to do a cheap sofa, and every time you do a cheap sofa, it means in a year you're gonna have to get another one, or maybe two. You can stretch it out, but if you get a good quality sofa that lasts you 10 years, you're gonna be thankful
Yeah.
instead of just
Yeah.
so sofas are usually the number one thing that I always recommend to not skimp on.
Hmm.
Skimp on the accessories for the sofa, like the cushion or not the cushions, the throw pillows, throw blankets, things like
Yeah.
that. Even rugs can be pretty, like hit and miss. So a lot of people put more money in the rug than the sofa, but you walk on the rug, you sit and lay on the sofa. So that's, yeah, probably my number one thing is sofa. Don't cheap out, you guys.
Don't skimp on the sofa. I have to say, like, I my sofa is actually probably 10 years old, actually. And it was my first like
Yes.
really good furniture purchase, and it's still like really great. So
There
I'm
you
glad I did
go.
the right thing.
Where did
Um
you get it?
Crate and Barrel.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my dining chairs, which I also really love, are from West Elm.
I was
And
gonna
like,
say West Elm. I have a feeling you're a West Elm shopper. I worked
yes,
for West Elm for a while.
yeah, I love West Elm and CB2 and a whole bunch of other stuff. But you had this really interesting path where you went from designing like government buildings and toilets to like seeing the world and expanding and becoming, you were a business owner, but really owning all of that yourself. And it's interesting because you did remote and hybrid pre-COVID, right? So like everything has sort of propelled you to this point of being ready for what is coming next. What did you mention that there's like a media portion of your consulting work as well?
Yes. So this year was a goal of like, okay, I've been doing this for 3 years now, the
Hmm.
niching down to helping my peers. And I just have been so busy that my
Yeah.
business has, kind of taken back burner. And
Hmm.
that's, usually the case. And so I wanted to make it a goal this year to do more media, to be
Hmm.
out in the public, to do more press. And a few years ago, I was told, I wasn't the right fit,
Yeah.
which was very disappointing to hear. And I thought, okay, maybe, it's maybe I don't have enough experience. This is my
Hmm.
first year consulting and all that. Maybe I need to wait a little bit. And after I heard a couple people tell me, no, and I asked them why, I followed up like, wait a second,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, well, you're not the right look for us. We're kind of looking for something else. And when
Yeah.
I told that to someone who actually was in the media, they're like, oh, you're not blonde. They
Yeah.
just don't want to say it. They don't
Yeah.
want to get sued.
Yeah.
You're not white and blonde enough for, their readers, for the look. That's
The
really what
look.
it
Yeah.
is. And that was so like, what?
Yeah.
Like I have a great portfolio. I have so much experience and I mean everyone has imposter syndrome, but that was like I just don't even know how to be an imposter. I'm not blonde enough.
Right. Right. It's not, you can't change who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
where should I like powder myself? And
yeah,
so that was just really, like, mm,
that's
but I
super
wanted
disappointing. Yeah.
to try again this year.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to try again. I reached out to a different mentor who is all things press and media for interior design. And she was like, this is a great time for you. They are sick and tired of, blonde girls. So they are looking
Yeah.
for
I joked. I was like, we're at our quota. We white blonde women. We are at our quota.
I know. It's just like this is not how you should choose,
Yeah.
who's qualified. But I guess it's my time. So this year, they're looking for more diversity, which is a great positive. And like, hello, where
Sure.
were you 30 years ago, 20 years ago,
Right.
years ago? Um, so that's been really kind of eye-opening. It's exciting, but it's also like the journey to this point just feels like, okay, now you want me.
Yeah.
Now you're interested.
Yeah.
Because the more they heard about my Mexican heritage and side, they're just like, oh yeah, that's a great angle.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not an angle, it's
It's
my
not an
life.
angle.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's who I am. Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
and it's interesting too, is like even 10, 15 years ago, the United States wasn't predominantly white. Like it is just
Yeah.
going in that direction. So I mean, it's nice that apparently media is catching up, but it's disappointing because it feels like, well, what was the difference? Like,
Yeah.
but so in our pre-conversation, you mentioned that you are Mexican American, or you're Mexican American and Irish American, and you're
I'm a
American.
Irish Mexican mutt.
There you go. I love it. Well, it's good genes. It's working for you.
Thank you.
But do you talk to me a little bit about like diversity in your field, not only from, a heritage perspective, you're a Latina designer, but also like women are, like what is it like in the field?
Um, I mean, with the clients that I had for the kitchen renovations that we did in Napa Valley, where
Mhm.
I'm from, I mean, I wasn't really dealing with a lot of Latino
Mhm.
community, even though my mom, who's an immigration consultant,
Mhm.
she's been doing that, I think it was 34 years when she retired, but she had these really sad and graphic stories, of just
Mhm.
what some of them deal with trying to get up here. Um, and she's seen firsthand the racism that they had experienced over the last 40 years of her living in
Mhm.
Napa. And so she was trying to be very protective of me and my brother. So my brother was blessed with the Beyonce glow and thick black hair from my mom, and I was not.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lighter, fry in the sun, have like my Charlie Brown little Homer Simpson hair strands. um but I'm pretty white, in
Yeah.
comparison, especially when we actually go to Mexico and they call me güerita, which means like white girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty white. But she was afraid. She just told both of us, as we were growing up, like if you ever sign anything, just say you're white. Like
Mm.
just say you're white. And it's just for her protecting us,
Mhm.
not because like, you know,
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
other reason. And then fast forward to now, and it's just like I feel like it's a safer environment to express, that we are a mix.
Mhm.
I've always been a mix. I'm have a Mexican side. My mom would always speak to us in Spanish, and we had cousins and stuff, and aunts and uncles, and we've been bilingual forever. But now it's the time, like it's okay now. Now I
Right.
can be Mexican. So I
Right.
think that's what's the most troubling. um, and I think maybe that was also why some of the projects that she actually introduced me to a mentor who is Mexican. So Liliana was my mentor in Napa Valley. I was doing a lot of home renovations with her. But again, at the end of the day, it was the people that really had the extra money to do that kind of thing were predominantly white.
Mhm.
But their workers, the people installing things were Mexican. So I would talk to them in Spanish, and I wish there was more, especially in Napa, more diversity in income so that we could be
Mhm.
creating these beautiful homes for also, Mexican middle class or
Mhm.
middle to upper class. But I didn't have a lot of practice doing that. I didn't have a lot of experience doing it. So I was under, my mentor at the time. And I noticed that she also had to kind of play a part in front of her clients. We
Mm.
kind of, she, would white it up a little bit, the
Yeah.
way that she would talk, the mannerisms. And then as soon as we, had a moment to ourselves, she would just kind of go back into Spanglish and,
Right.
like,
Right.
so it's kind of disappointing to still see that even now when things are so embracing of diversity, that we still have roles to play to
Yeah.
either make people more comfortable or to just out of fear to be not seen in a certain way. So yeah, that's been very interesting to observe that my whole life.
Yeah. If it almost sounds like you have been caught between different worlds, in a lot of your life. And
Mhm.
um, we spent a little bit of time together and I've spent quite a bit of time on your website. And it seems like you're bringing your whole authentic self to the work that you're doing now, which is a really beautiful thing. What I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't want to hide it anymore,
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
I'm
like
actually
people,
doing a website makeover, and
ooh,
with the new photos, it's a lot more colorful. There's more photos of my actual home. We have a
nice.
home tour that we're actually doing a new one tomorrow, but for this refresh, I'm showcasing more of the Mexican colors
Hmm.
and that side of me because, I'm tired of like, no, just, hide
Yeah,
it. Like, no,
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
see if you like my website now, it's about to get a blast of color.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, and it's one of those things where I feel like when you put yourself out there, like
Mhm.
the right people will find you, right? It's not, you're
Yeah.
not necessarily turning people away. You're just getting,
Mhm.
the community that is probably looking for you, that they
Yeah.
can't find.
Yeah, there's a lot of full service interior designers out there very interested in adding eDesign to their services, which is
Hmm.
really exciting. And I thought, I'm here helping e-designers and, which I'm all about, but now it's really nice to get both full
Yeah,
service and, and budgets too. Full service interior designers have a completely different budget compared to eDesign. And I mean, when I was doing eDesign, it felt like peanuts in comparison.
yeah.
So I do try to teach the e-designers how to make more money, how to have affiliate links, how to make
Mhm.
sure that all of your clients buy through you so that you can get an extra kind of commission and things like
Right.
that. So I love teaching, and I'm a social butterfly, and it just felt like this great hybrid,
Yeah.
for me of utilizing my graphic design experience and marketing know-how and with my peers, who I love and network with already. And, they're always like, you're like the party starter, like
I love that.
you're just like the party, and like, yay, that's what I
Yeah.
want to be.
I love that. So you're doing this refresh for your website. What else are you looking to do, whether it's to expand into something new or just grow something that you're doing? What's next for you?
Well, tomorrow we have a home tour. I have
Right.
my videographer coming. I've gone room by room and just kind of refreshed things. I mean, we're renting a
Hmm.
beautiful mid-century modern style apartment,
Yeah.
but we're renting, so we
Yeah.
can't be here forever. We've been here for 3 years, which has
Hmm.
been great, but with California rates and prices and
Yeah.
the way things are, we're getting very tempted to, like many others, move east.
Hmm.
So, the plan so far is to get photos done,
Yeah.
do another home tour video. All that's happening tomorrow. So, I've been nesting and doing, preparing for that so that we can then put everything in storage and maybe hit the road again. Like
Very
we
cool.
were for 5, almost 6 years, we were backpacking, we
Wow.
were living in different countries for
Yeah.
a few weeks at a time or a month at the most. And we're kind of itching to do that again.
Yeah.
Uh,
What
so
was your what was your favorite place when previously that you visited, if you had to choose one or two?
Okay. Well, Tokyo is definitely
Mm.
like our favorite favorite. We always go back every November. Tickets are or had been about $500
Oh,
to Tokyo
that's not bad.
if
Yeah.
you go in November. So everyone likes to go in spring or summer, and tickets are more like 12 to 18 or possibly even 2000 because of the cherry blossoms,
Right.
you know? So we waited and saw like, whoa, if we wait in November, it's like $500, like, you know, and it's a very crappy airline. But it's like,
Yeah.
hey, if you have your checked-in bag, because we never check in our bag. We have our carry-on. So
Yeah.
as long as we just have our carry-on, we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Tokyo is probably my favorite place. London was fun. London was a lot of fun. Amsterdam, I didn't drink. I'm not a drinker or a big smoker or anything like that, but we rented scooters and they're like, it's so easy, rent scooter, kids do it. And like, okay. And a block down, I get thrown when I'm like trying to turn on the intersection. I'm just thrown into the intersection
Oh my
because
gosh.
the bike went this way and I went that way. So I'm all like, you know, banged up and hobbling, like, nope, we are returning this. Like,
Oh God.
so that's my memory of Amsterdam. Loved Amsterdam, but
Yeah.
you know, also like had that fall.
You left a part of yourself in Amsterdam, I think. So
Yeah.
when you say you want to go east, are you talking like east coast of the United States or east like
Yes, East Coast of the United
cool.
States.
Nice.
But I mean, also, you know, we're also thinking about like, okay, what if we stayed in like they have these capsules, kind of like mini hotels in Tokyo, and you know, it's very cheap. It's like $25 a night.
Mhm.
And they have storage and everything. And again, it's just kind of like if we have our backpack, we have our laptops, long as we have Wi-Fi, we could literally be anywhere. My fiance also has like he's a contractor, so he's freelance. He can go wherever. And we're just like, yeah, maybe this is time, you know?
Yeah.
Because groceries, it's so expensive to buy groceries.
I know.
I remember Black Friday last year, my friend said, everyone's got a TV. We want a deal on groceries for Black
Yeah,
Friday.
right? Yeah. Yeah, like eggs. It's so funny. I'm in South Florida and I mentioned to you my sister and brother-in-law are in the Bay Area. And when they were out here, like it's expensive here too. Like it's kind of ridiculous, but
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh my God." He just kept buying food because he was like, "It's so cheap here comparatively." And I was like, "It's really not, but okay." But yeah, we need a Black Friday deal on groceries, 100%.
Yes.
That's very cool. Well, I'm excited about your future travels. That'll be really
Yes.
exciting to see. Well, so the three questions that I ask everybody. The first is
Oh my God.
what advice would you give to your younger self?
Ooh. Hmm. Don't care about what others think.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Just, yeah, do
Yeah.
not care.
Yeah. And then what do you love most about the work that you do?
Oh, working with the people. So it's not so much like the branding that we get done at the end of it or the website makeover at the end of it. It's just our experience collaborating along the whole way. Because as we do that, we become friends. I always
Yeah.
become very fast friends with my clients. But it's just, you know, we message about everything. And they'll tell me like that oh, I went and ate sushi and thought of you. And I'll
Oh,
message them back like, oh, you know, I'm at a barbecue. And it's just, I don't know. I like working with less people now so that we can have a very intimate, you know, collaborative experience. And then we're like crying at the end of it. Like, oh, we're done. Like, you
yeah.
know. So it's just been really those connections is my favorite part of it. You know, it used to be design, you know, design is in my blood and
Yeah.
I'm just so passionate. I have all this creativity and now it's just like, well, I'm so grateful I can use all that, but work with those people.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then how can people find you?
Oh. Well, they soon won't be able to because I'm gonna be like Carmen Sandiego trotting the globe again. But yeah, my website, fosterdecorconsulting.com.
Mhm.
Any social media platforms, I am at Foster Decor Consulting.
Okay.
Super easy
Super easy.
because I audit interior designers' websites and social media, and it's always just like horrific and scary because it's
Yeah.
like it's this name over here, but it's that name, and then it's this picture, and you'll be able to find me
Yeah. Yeah.
consistently. Make it easy for people to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And we'll have all your information on the website on megdeford.com,
Yeah.
and socials and everything so people can find you and enjoy your work and see what is coming next. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining today. And I can't wait to see the house tour. Good luck tomorrow.
I know, I'm scared.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. So thank you so much for spending time today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. You have like the most fun podcast. And
Oh.
you have the best title. I told you that right off the bat. I was like, that is the funniest, best, catchiest title ever.
Well, and we were talking about it that I was like, you're at a cocktail party or whatever. And my background's in philanthropy. So it's what I do. I like talk to people all the time.
Mhm.
And someone will be like, oh, I'm in business. And you're like, cool. And then you just start talking about other stuff. And I can't tell you how many times I'm like, wait, what do you do again? Like they'll say something and I'm like, wait, what? So, or like your friends, like I need to have a party where friends actually explain what they do. Cause I'm like, yeah, they're an accountant. And they're like, what kind? And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I can tell you everything she did this weekend. I have no idea where she works, what she does. Like, I don't know what that means. So secretly, I hope I can get all of them on here and figure out what they do.
That would be fun,
Yeah. It's a nice little plus. But thank you so much. If you're in South Florida, let me know. If I'm out in Sacramento, I will let you know. Maybe we can meet up in Tokyo. That sounds great.
If you're visiting your brother, right?
Brother-in-law. Yeah.
Brother-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So awesome. Thanks again so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yay. Thank you again.
Thanks for listening to Wait, What Do You Do Again? For more information about today's guest, or if you'd like to be on the show, please visit megdeford.com. See you next time.